Good evening from Iraq, everybody. Hey, I was trying to do a live on YouTube, didn't work out so hot. So I want to go in kind of a different direction tonight. I want to start something different. There's a lot of veteran podcasts and things out there, and they're always telling the super serious stories about there I was and the entire room burst into flames, and then I crawled through the muck and the mud, and I survived. And those are all great stories, and they're awesome. But wouldn't it be great, I thought, if veterans could tell the humorous stuff that happens during their military experience, during warfare? It's hilarious, and there's a ton of those stories out there. So I wanted to kind of start tonight. And I'm doing it in a way that's kind of unusual. I'm remembering a friend of mine named Babs Thomas. We called him Babs. His name is Andy Thomas. He was a great warrior. He was a father. He was a fantastic Marine officer. He was a husband, family man. He was everything you would want to be. You really are. He's the kind of guy that you would want your daughter to bring home to you. He's just a fantastic individual. He was about 10 years younger than me, and needless to say, it came as quite a shock. He lost a battle with cancer, but we thought it was going okay, and then it was actually very sudden. There was some complications, and Andy died. Andy passed away, and I loved him very much. And I miss him terribly. But Andy would tell me, quit your bitching, and when you remember me, laugh and tell funny stories, and hoist a beer in my name, and remember me that way. So that has spawned this tonight, which I want to memorialize Andy at least a little bit. With a short story about him that kind of captures his attitude and his humor. And just what a fantastic guy he was. So, Rex, if you're watching this some years later, this is, to me, in a nutshell, what your dad Andy was like. All right, so we had this XO at HMLA 269. We had this XO, and frankly, he was an asshole. He just was. But he was always getting spun up about stuff. He would get all riled up, and he'd be yelling and carrying on, and the guys would play prank jokes on him because he would get riled up and carry on with them. And so it was just this constant thing. And Babs was one of the guys who was kind of part of this group, who were students of mine and who became very, very good friends of mine and still are very good friends of mine to this day. So, several of us are in the ready room, and, I don't know, we were getting ready to do a flight brief or something. We were doing something in the ready room. And in walks the XO, and he's all fired up. And he's freaking chewing ass. And you some bitch, and God, you're a dumbass. And just kind of carrying on the way he normally did. Now, in the squadron, we had a lot of fun. We acted like 3-year-olds sometimes. But then there was serious time, too. Well, this was a serious time. And the rest of us are kind of sitting there like this. Andy, as a lieutenant, so he's a brand new guy, just showed up to the squadron not too long ago. Brand new guy, brand new lieutenant, stands right in front of the XO and does this. Just holds his arms out. And the XO goes, "What in the hell are you doing?" And Andy goes, "Sir, do you need a hug? I think you need a hug." And it was so completely out of the box and so unexpected that it totally took the XO off of his game. I'm not going to say his name. It took the XO so off his game, he was completely disarmed because it was so bizarre. It was bizarre. It was hilarious. And there was no meanness in it. There was no ill will in it. And the guy was completely off his game, and he just kind of, well, he couldn't be angry. He couldn't be angry. He couldn't be upset anymore. He was completely disarmed by this young lieutenant going like this, saying, "Sir, I think you need a hug." And he just kind of walked out of the room. And the rest of us, that was right then. I was like, that dude, I love that dude. Right then. I mean, I knew I liked him before, but right then I was all in. I was like, oh yeah, Andy Thomas. He is the real deal. Just a great guy. Had this ability to bring humor and wit into the strangest, oddest, worst situation. And, you know, when things were really not going so great, Andy was always a guy who kept his wits about him and kept his sense of humor. That was Andy Thomas. Andy, we miss you. We'd miss you. But fair winds and following seas, brother. And I hope to be able to get, well, I've got a lot of stories about Babs myself, but I hope to be able to get some of the other guys on here as well to tell their stories about Babs Thomas. So this is going to be in a playlist called, I think I'm going to call it Remembering Andy Babs Thomas. So thanks for watching. Hey, if you like what we're doing with this playlist or some of the other playlists, some of the other videos and topics, go ahead and hit like, subscribe. It helps us to grow the channel and get what we're doing out to more folks. So thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.